Today's devotion is a little bit of a tough one for us. It's the sixth petition of the Lord's Prayer. We're going to kind of talk about what it is, what it means, and in case you lost count or in case you're just jumping in, the sixth petition for the Lord's Prayer, where the sixth kind of thing we ask God in the Lord's Prayer is, lead us not into temptation, which I think, and this can probably be said for the whole Lord's Prayer, but we say it every week, so I think part of the danger of that is you stop thinking about it so much, you recite it, but it's lead us not into temptation. Like, have you ever thought really hard about that? I mean, that's kind of implying, at least on some level, that sometimes God does lead us into temptation. And this requires an answer. So the explanation we find in the Small Catechism is this: it is true that God tempts no one, but we ask in this prayer that God would preserve and keep us so that the devil, the world, and our sinful nature may not deceive us or mislead us into the false belief, despair, or other great shame and vice. So what it's asking is for God to kind of take an active role in keeping us safe from those things that would tempt us, whether it is the work of the devil and his servants, kind of waging spiritual warfare, whether it's the things of this world that would lead us, friends who would try to talk us into doing things we shouldn't do, or subtle cultural pressure that would lead us to a bad place, or even just our own sinful nature, our desire to do things that we really shouldn't be doing, our desire to go against the will of God. This petition is asking God to curb us, to keep us away from those influences, and to lead us to choose His will instead. So it's at its core, it's a request for the Holy Spirit to work in our hearts in this way. So it makes sense, and I think that tracks, at least for me, that tracks logically. But there is an acknowledgement that this petition, this part of the Lord's Prayer, it raises some questions, and hopefully I've answered them as best as I can. I'm sure people have written books about this stuff. I'm not going to read you a book. These devotions are limited to 5 minutes, so this is the explanation you're getting. If you have comments, questions, concerns, I'm always happy to deal with those, happy to engage with those. You can reach out to me personally or put them in the comments below. That is what that section is for. But regardless, brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.